Hey, Sylvia here. I am here today to talk to you about how to apply our amazing GelMoment polish. So we just need a few things. You need the polish of your choice. I'm using Pretty Please today. You need your GelMoment file that has the buffer on the other side. I also use the tool for removing the polish, but it also acts as a tool for pushing back your cuticles. We have a cleanser pad and our lamp. So I have the 4-finger professional lamp here. First step that we're going to do is take our buffing side of our file and we're going to buff from the cuticle down to the tip. So just do a couple of strokes and that should be sufficient. So over buffing will actually lead to the polish not staying on very nicely, and over time it'll actually thin out your nails. So we don't want to over buff our nails. That's why I just do about 2 or 3 strokes in each section, and that's it. And always go with the grain of your nail, so the cuticle down to your tip, okay? I'm also going to use this end right here just to push back my cuticle a little bit, just so I can get maximum polishing area here. All right, so now the next step is to take our cleanser pad and we're going to just rip along the dotted line and take this out and cleanse our nails. Now when you cleanse your nails, you want to make sure that you get right into the edge where you buffed and get all of that nail powder dust off of your nail, and then also clean underneath your nail too, because we have oils underneath our nail too. So when I clean the nail, I always put a little bit on, and I have the cleanser pad separating my thumb between the fingers. So you don't want to cleanse your nails like this where and actually put your thumb or your other fingers on top of your nail, because all that's going to do is just transfer the oils back onto your nail. So you just cleanse like this, and then once you're done, I actually just put everything back into the packet because it keeps it nice and wet, just in case if you get anything on your cuticles, and it can be used for cleaning it up rather quickly, okay? Next, you take your bottle of polish. Now, I've already rolled the bottle of polish, but what I do is I actually hold it on its side and I roll it back and forth about 15 times, 15 to 20 times, just so that the polish mixes nice and easy there, or nice and evenly back and forth there. So when you take the brush out, you're going to have a lot of polish on here, and that's going to be way too much. So you want to take the excess off the brush using the bottle of the neck. Okay. Now when you apply the polish, start just before the cuticle, but not right at the cuticle, just because it's a little bit easier that way. If you start right at the cuticle, then you're more apt to put polish on your cuticles, which we don't want to do. And I'm just going to put this back in the bottle here, and I'll explain why. So when you polish your nails, you want to leave a little bit of a gap. You want to embrace the gap all the way around, as you can see that I've done on these nails as well. If you get too close to your cuticle, then what happens is that when you're washing your hands, having the shower, having a bath, or even the dishes, then water will actually lift or get underneath the polish that's touching the skin and lift it up. So then it ends up being a weak point. It'll actually not chip here, but it'll kind of lift up. So what we're going to do is embrace the gap. So again, I'm just going to take the excess polish off the brush here, move that over to the side here, and I always start just before the cuticle, push up towards the cuticle, but don't touch, and then come down the nail here. And just do that all the way around. Make sure that you embrace the gap on the sides of the nails too. And you want to have super thin coats, okay? So a thick coat won't cure properly, and it'll bubble after about an hour or so, or maybe even sooner than that. But you want to make sure that you have super thin coats. So your first coat is not going to look that great, and you're like, oh geez, but it'll all come together on the second and third coats. I'm using quite a light color today, so Pretty Please, I'm going to be putting 3 coats on. Now, once you polish the nail, then I always cap the nail as well. And here is what you do. You just turn your finger over if you have any length, and you can cap the finger like that. Capping the finger helps to prevent chips on your nails, just because it provides a little bit of a barrier, right? So now whenever I cap the nail, I always polish the nail again, because when I find that I'm capping the nail, there's a little bit of excess on the edge, and I got a little bit on my skin there, and I'm going to show you what to do there. There's a little bit of excess on the edge there, what can be prone to chipping. So I always polish, cap, and then polish, making sure to embrace the gap, okay? All right, now I did get a little bit on my skin. You don't want to use your fingers to wipe that off. You want to use your cleanser pad, and this is a perfect example of why I keep it in the packet here, to keep it nice and wet. So I just wrap it around my finger and wipe it off, and I'll stick it right back in. in case we need it again. I'm just going to roll it up so it doesn't dry. All right, let me just take our 4-finger lamp. Now, when you're curing your polish, I always actually tighten it up, and you can't keep it by the lamp. When you keep it by the lamp, then it's actually going to cure it and make it clumpy, and there's nothing you could do once you have a clumpy bottle of polish. So I always move it behind the polish, or sorry, behind the lamp, and then I press the button for the 45 seconds, and we're going to cure this, and we will be back. Okay, the 45 seconds is up, and now our first coat is done. So now we're going to take Pretty Please again and apply a second coat, following the same rules as before. So start just before your cuticle, push up to where the other polish was, and just before the cuticle, and then sweep down. And you're going to do the same thing on the sides too, making sure to embrace the gap all the way around. And you want to also make sure that it's a thin coat, okay? I know that thick coats might be like, oh, you get the nice rich color with the thick coat, but it will not cure properly and it'll just peel. And then we just cap the edge again. I always cap every coat, and then I just polish again. So polish, cap, polish. Easy way to remember that. And keep the polish away from the lamp and cure for the full 45 seconds. Okay, the second coat is done. And I'm just going to put one more coat on just to kind of keep it consistent with the other fingers, because I did put 3 coats. I know a lot of our polishes actually just require 2 coats, but some of our lighter polishes, it does require 3 coats. This one doesn't require 3 coats, but I just like the look of it of 3 coats. Some of our lighter polishes, and that doesn't include this one, actually have a lot of white content. And so with Lovey Dovey or I Pink You, it can be a little bit streaky. This one goes on beautifully and seamlessly. But when you have, our polish is self-leveling. So when you're using those other 2 colors, then what you can do is actually just tap your finger on the table, and it helps self-level and gets rid of those lines when you're polishing. Okay. We are done here. We'll put it underneath the lamp for 45 seconds, and then I'll show you the final product. Okay, the 45 seconds is done, and here we go, the finished product. So I have a little bit of Pretty Please on my nails, and thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on my next video. Ciao.